Hey guys, Kevin here. I actually just, as you can see, have come to this beautiful spot for a night of hot tent winter camping. I'm right on the Payette River here in Idaho. It's about an hour and a half from Boise. Um, it's a beautiful day. The sun is it's only 3 o'clock, but the sun's already started going down behind the hill there, just because there's such big hills around us. It's pretty warm. I'm barely gonna even need the wood stove tonight. It's all day. It's been kind of the low 30s. I've at times been hot just wearing this wool shirt, but I do have my jacket and down vest and stuff for later in the evening when it cools off a bit. One of the really cool parts about this spot is that it's really close to a hot springs, and that's kind of why I came here. I'm probably going to not venture over there tonight. It's about a 10 to 15 minute hike from this campground. I may go tonight. There were a couple people down there earlier. I saw them leaving, so I should have it to myself if I go anytime, but right now I'm just planning on, I got the tent set up. I got in here about 1, so it took me a couple hours to get the tent set up, get everything packed in here. My next thing, I'm just going to look for some dead trees to grab some firewood. Last couple weeks ago when I went hot tent camping, it didn't work out so good. We didn't give ourselves very much time, so we got there and the only wood around the close area was frozen and wet, so I still have at least an hour to go look for some wood before it really gets dark. And just looking around, I already see some dead standing wood around, so I think it's going to be a lot better. But I did, just in case, I bought a couple bundles of firewood, but I've just left it in my car. That's really just a last resort. I don't want to end up like last time, but I'm really going to try hard to get some good stuff. Yeah, I think it's going to be a real fun time. I'm going to at least jump in the hot springs tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not expecting to get much colder than, I want to say it's probably not going to get worse than in the 20s tonight, so it should be pretty good. Oh. Alright, so I found this dead pine down by the river there. It's seeming pretty dry. I'm just going to go ahead now and saw up chunks of wood about the size of the wood stove for fire to last the night. I'm also going to use all these little sticks as well as make some little kindling and shavings just to get the fire going. And let's hope it's better than last time. Seems dry. And friends, another little tip, especially when you're out on the snow winter camping, get one of these sit pads. They're really cheap, but That way you can kneel down in the snow when you're doing things like sawing, and well, you won't get your knees wet. Just have that down like there, and nice little kneel pad. Alright, there you go. As you can see, I've taken off all the branches, and this is what we got now. So I'm just going to chop this up into, continue onto little pieces like that, and then we should be ready to get a fire going. Alright, I am fully set up. I've chopped my wood. Got my bed all set up. I'll give you a little peek inside. The only thing left I have to do now is make a fire and cook dinner. But it's not quite dark yet. I think I might go soak in the hot springs for a bit before I do that. Everything's all ready to go in here. There's my bed. Got all my wood pile all chopped up. There's my pack and stuff. My food bag. Pretty cozy in here. So yeah, I got all that wood, which should be more than enough for the night. Like I said, I'm not anticipating it to get super cold, so even if the fire goes out near the morning, I think I should be fine. Yeah, so I guess I will see you guys over at the hot springs in a little bit. So as you can tell, the sun's obviously gone down. It's pitch black right now. I just got to the hot springs and they were really hard to find. I had my headlamp on, but anytime you even got near a pool of them, it was super steamy. So it just like turned into zero visibility when I shone my light on it. So I did find it. I'll try to see if you can. That's the pool right there. You can kind of see it. It's a really beautiful night out. It's a clear sky. I'm looking at tons of stars. We got this like mystical steam coming off the water, so I'm gonna jump in and warm up. The temperature's dropped down quite a bit. It's probably dropped down about at least 10 degrees. It's in the 20s or the teens by now. It's pretty chilly now that the sun's down, but this water's gonna feel really good. And I did bring up a surprise. More good for me than for you guys, but I'll show you guys. A brewski, a beer. It is another local beer. Better Hazy Than Never by Boise Brewing. And I'm not usually into IPAs. It's supposed to be an IPA, but like a pretty mild one, like not too bitter. almost just like a wheat ale, which is kind of more my jam. I'd tell you more about this one, but it doesn't really say a whole lot on the label. Doesn't tell you the alcohol or IBUs. Just tipping over, no big deal. Yeah. So maybe it's like, oh no, it says 6 ABV. So it's nothing too extreme. But I'm gonna hop in the springs here, have a sip of my beer, and I'll get back to you. So I got in the water and it is feeling super nice. Cheers, guys. Yeah, it does taste like an IPA. It's true, it is on the mild side though. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy my soak for the next, I don't know, hour or so. Sorry, the filming's pretty bad. It's all this steam is making it really hard to focus. But I'm gonna hit this up for an hour. I'm gonna hike back and cook up some dinner, and I'll talk to you then. All right, I just got back from the hot springs. It was amazing. I was there all by myself. It was pitch black. I just watched the stars and laid in the hot water. It was just, I ended up being there for like 2 hours instead of an hour. But anyway, I'm back. I've just started a fire in the wood stove. I'm just gonna make some dinner. I'm just about to cook some, it's about a 1/3 pound of ground beef. I'm gonna throw in some rice, as well as a bit of sloppy joe sauce. I'm doing like a kind of a version of sloppy joes, but without the buns. I'm doing it on top of rice instead. So I didn't use the whole can, I just put half of a can in a little Tupperware. So I'm gonna cook up this, I got my billy can here. I'm gonna cook up this ground beef, add the sauce, add the rice, and that's about it. Just going nice and simple tonight. It's starting to warm up in here. This wood is actually working a lot better than the wood we had last trip. We got a nice fire going and starting to feel some heat from it. I opened a couple of the vents just because it's a bit smoky in here, but now that I have the door closed, I think it's going to be the door of the wood stove. I think it's going to be a little less smoky. So anyway, I'm going to cook up my dinner. I'll get back to you when that's all ready. Alright, I got my ground beef browning. Looks like about halfway cooked. Put rice in. So this is already this has been about 15 or 20 minutes. Last time I came here and the stove was giving us trouble, it probably took about, I think it was almost 2 hours that it took us just to heat up our frozen spaghetti, and this has been 15 or 20 minutes. There's a huge difference. If you look in here, we are just going hard. We're giving her a give on the inside of the stove here. We never got to that point last time, so this has just been awesome. Like, it's so nice to finally see everything working. Alright, so as you can see, my ground beef is pretty much ready. What I've done is I put the beef in the frying pan part of the zebra pot, and then I started the rice with just a little bit of water, and then I've added the sauce right into the rice. So I'm just getting that till it starts boiling a bit. The rice was pre-cooked, so it just needs to heat up. And once the rice is all heated up with the sauce, I'm just going to add the beef to it, and we will be good to go. Right, there we go. There's dinner right there. Doesn't look amazing, but I'm sure it will taste really good. It took, I don't know, less than 30 minutes, which was awesome. Like, that'll take that. It's getting really warm in here, which is awesome too. Like, it's not that cold of a night out, but walking back from the hot springs was pretty chilly. And now I'm in here and it feels like I'm inside right now. It's probably, I would say, I wouldn't even know what to guess. 70 degrees. I mean, it's pretty, like, I'm ready to take my long sleeve shirt off. So I like this a lot. I'm gonna sleep good tonight. Well, I'm gonna leave you. I'm not gonna make you watch me eat, and I will talk to you a little later. I'm probably gonna make up some tea and maybe read or something and go to bed. It's pretty late for dinner. I usually don't eat dinner super early. It's let's see. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock now, so I'll probably go to bed around midnight. I'll eat, read a bit, tend to the wood stove, and yeah, beautiful night out. I just heard a couple coyotes howling. I was trying to get you guys to hear it, but of course, right when I press play, they stop. So whatever. Anyway, I'll enjoy my dinner, and I will talk to you in a bit. Hey y'alls. As you can see, I've climbed into my warm sleeping bag and my tea's a steaming away. I don't know if you can hear, but in the background the fire's giving her a give. Nice and warm in here. It's perfect. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. This sleepy time tea is gonna taste delicious. I'm just gonna have some relaxation time and probably go to sleep. It's let's see, it's probably about 10:48. So yeah, I'll probably try to sleep by 11 something or midnight. Yeah, I'll check in with you guys in the morning. Toodaloo. Oh, hey, good morning. I slept pretty good. A lot better than last time, but still maybe only about 5 hours or so. It's about 8 o'clock right now. I woke up for the first time, I think, at 5. I woke up because I was so cold. The wood stove had kind of run out of wood. And so I had to kind of put some more on there. And what actually had happened was the same thing that happened last time. I didn't even realize it right away, but I put more wood on the fire and I kind of blew on it to try to get it going again, and the whole tent got smoked out, so it was so bad I had to open the door and stand outside for a bit at 5 in the morning. And eventually I realized I took off the smoke arrestor that sits in the top of the stovepipe, and it was just like all blocked up with dried sap and resin that I guess had melted with the heat and then dried onto the top of that. So I'm probably just not even going to put that on anymore. As soon as I took that off, the air started flowing right through it again, and it lit right up right away. So that thing has just caused more trouble than good. I think I'm gonna get up, make some tea. Not a big breakfast person, so I'm probably gonna make some tea, enjoy that, warm up a bit, and then take everything down and pack up. And probably not gonna go home. I'm gonna pack up and then maybe do some hot springs before I go home. I was just gonna show you. Here's that spark arrestor. It looks like this. It kind of sits like that in the top of the smokestack. And so I'll show you. This normally has holes in it, and it's almost fully. Can you see that? Fully covered with crap. Just whatever was burning out of the wood came up through and was basically being blocked. So that's why the smoke was flowing back and smoking out the tent. So I'm not going to be using that anymore, I don't think. I don't really like that design. And it's kind of screwed me over twice now. So yeah, I think for now I'm just going to go without it. Anyways, I'm all ready to go. I'm going to pack up my stuff and make a couple trips back up to the car. Alright, I made it back to the car. All nice and warm. Gonna probably, let's see, I might go grab a quick bite to eat and then head out to another hot springs. Go soak for a couple hours and then head home. Overall, it was a really fun camping trip. Probably one of my favorite camping trips I've ever done, actually. And definitely the best winter camping trip I've ever done. I was way warmer than last time. It was black and white difference. The wood stove worked, besides when I had to wake up at 5 in the morning, but it had already been burning for like 4 hours, so it couldn't have lasted much longer than that. And then besides that spark arrestor, yeah, like I said, I'm just probably not going to bother with that anymore. I'm just going to leave it off. I'd say overall, one of my favorite parts of that camping trip was going to the hot springs in the middle of the night. Not in the middle of the night, but when it was pitch black. It was just really majestic. I was there by myself. I couldn't see any people. I couldn't hear any people. Couldn't hear any cars. I turned all my lantern and my flashlights off and everything, and just laid in the nice warm water and stared at the thousands of stars. And there was kind of a mist coming off the water, and drank my craft beer. It was pretty sweet. I guess that was one of the reasons why it was such a cool trip. And just that I was warm. And I think a couple things that I'll do differently for next time. I think it's important to invest in a winter sleeping bag. Even being in the hot tent, the heat in the tent, obviously heat rises, so the higher up you are, the warmer you feel. So when you're laying right on the ground, you're in the coldest spot of the tent, so it's still a little bit chilly. I did put down a mat of Reflectix insulation. It's just a really thin, I don't know if you saw it, but it's a kind of a silvery color. I put that down, then I put my sleeping pad, and then I put my sleeping bag, and I still felt the cold of the ground. I think it maybe would help to get a better insulated sleeping bag. Mine says it's good to 20 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know. I'm gonna look into getting one for a bit colder than that. And I don't know if there's any trick. Like I can't really sleep off the ground unless I were to bring a cot or something with me, and I don't want to pack that in. So I'll kind of think about it, look around. Besides that, I can't think of anything else that went really wrong or any other big lessons I've learned on this particular trip. Yeah, it was a really great time. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you come along on my next adventure. See you then.